Like, let's not bury the lead.
Yeah.
Tell the people who have not heard about the story.
All right. So interview process, application process was relatively thorough, but it was like, for me as somebody who was not in Division One and recognized that, like, that's what a lot of people look for, is like Division One experience, etc. I was at least in scholarship athletics working at Concordia St. Paul, but like, for some reason, there's Division One, and it's like what everybody wants. So recognizing me getting that entry was going to be tough, and like, I was just kind of prepared for whatever kind of slog they were going to throw at me. But initially, it was like a fairly detailed like questions and stuff, which was nice because I got to show how my brain worked. It wasn't just like, this is where I worked. All right, well, it's some dog shit D2. Nobody gives a shit. It was like, no, they actually, fortunately, they had a process that allowed me to like show how the inner working of my brain worked. So it's like, hey, this guy isn't just some pud that gets people under barbells. Secondary part was Zoom interview, which, I mean, it was fairly detailed. Here's the questions. What do you believe the 99% of the field doesn't? And tell us something about you that, or like, what would your worst enemy say about you? And in my case, I'm just ornery, and like, I have opinions. It's just like, so it's like, I had literally had a review probably 2.5 weeks before this. My boss was like, you're ornery and demanding. Like, correct.
Got it.
Yes,
I got my answers.
Yes.
You're like,
all right.
thank
Yeah,
you.
that's, I mean, it's who I am. I'm a demanding person. And when I'm like, I get very type A about these things for some reason or other. I could be type B about a bunch of other stuff. But for some reason, strength and conditioning was always like, it's got to be A, B, C, and D. Couldn't tell you why. It's just the way it's been. But then the on-campus process, where it got fun. Got a flight out there. I was told that there was going to be something that we had to prepare for, like the night of. We would get a prompt. It was like, all right, get to the hotel, sitting at the hotel, walk down to a Waffle House at dinner. Got back to the hotel, and it was about 9:00 at night. Find out that the other guy's named Alex. He's staying at the same hotel I am. It's going to be a dueling interview. At the prep for just some like ACL return to play stuff. It was like, and this is at like 9:30 at night Eastern. So it was like, all right, well, balance sleep and planning, like tight.
Getting a
right.
job.
Yeah. Wake up, got the boy Anthony and his serial killer gaze awaiting me in the hotel room, which is, I mean, he's a bearded guy. I mean, he's a Midwestern guy. I've turned
And just
find out. Yeah,
face, yeah.
stone faced, and mustache Alex LaRochelle is he's in a suit. I'm just in a blue shirt and slacks.
Oh God, you probably can't.
I forgot my dress shoes. I'm wearing tennis shoes, which is just true to form. Like, it's who I am. I was like, oh yeah, dress socks, dress shoes. Nah, all right, here we go. So we ride in, just shooting the shit with Tony, bitching about the field. It's just like, sport coaches suck, etc., etc., etc. Like, all right, this is fairly normal. This is par for the course. Maybe I'm not all that far off. Get to breakfast. This is like really the start of the interview. It's like, even though it's not an interview process, but it's like, we're like the vibe. It's vibe check time, right? So the quorum's at breakfast, which he's got, like, he's a kind man. Like, I gotta put that, like, I love Eric Quorum to death. But there again, there's like a, I don't know what the word is, but it's like, you're a little bit on edge, especially as an interview. Like, don't screw this up. Don't screw this up. Don't screw this up. And having that start at like 7:30 in the morning, it's like, okay. So me and Mustache Alex are sitting in a booth right next to each other. We're sitting at breakfast next to each other. Some like dense-ish questions happen, whatever. Moving on through the day, though, then we start into the actual dueling interview process, where it's like, we had the ACL return to play. So I think we had like a half hour. I'm on one side of a whiteboard. He's on the other side of the whiteboard, scripting out what we're going to do. And then he presents, and then I present. And it's like the whole athletic training crew's there. They're going through, they quiz us. So it's like, he gets grilled, and then I present mine, and I get grilled. We go to lunch. Scott has us sit both on the same side of a booth. It's like a little bit tight. Scott's got all the room in the world. So there's a lot of minor psychological things that I didn't even realize were going on. Like, they had planned. I was just kind of dealing with it, just like, all right, I didn't even realize what was going on. But Keir Scott probably could tell much better background stories of the plans of the psychological warfare that they're trying to throw at us. But and then the secondary part of it, we had another presentation, same idea, both on each side of a whiteboard. We had to plan out a training session for summer for field hockey because other Alex was also a volleyball guy. I was just coming out of being a volleyball guy. I was hiring for working with volleyball. So they just threw us a curveball and see how our brains worked with field hockey naturally. Otherwise, we'd be in our wheelhouse, and that's just too easy.
Yep.
So we got grilled on that with our programming stuff. And then after about 7 hours of interviewing, decided to train and then got on a plane and went home.
Unbelievable. Like, where does your mind go on the plane right after that? Like,
I mean, I got to the Richmond
because I know where
airport.
mine would go. Mine would be like, here's all the things you made wrong, and this is why. Like,
for me, it was like, honestly, it was stressful. Don't get me wrong, but it's like we had seen so much of each other in that 8 hours that I knew what I was getting into. It's like by the end of it, it's like there's nothing that it's just like they're either gonna like him or they're gonna like me. I like these guys. In the event that they offer, I'm gonna say yes because like I'd be going back to being the dumbest guy in the room again. Like I'd be able to grow, I'd be able to. So at Lights, it was like I was the driving force behind it all. So, but going there, I was going to be an opportunity to be the low man on the totem pole again and grow because it felt a lot like my initial presentations when I was at Iowa, when I was just getting absolutely grilled by these PhDs. But it was like a growth thing. Like, frankly, I got a little bit callous to how abrasive some academics could be in these presentations. And like the way that these guys would go about it is like, yeah, they were grilling me a little bit, but it's like there's nothing I hadn't dealt with before in academia. So being able to be in a situation where I'm the dumbest guy in the room again and I can grow, or if I have a question, it's like I have a sounding board that I can get better. It's like, yeah, I've recognized that I was going to be chomping off a lot of teams there at a FCS school, and it's like the office was notably not great, but like it was going to be in a position to grow as a professional and as a person to be able to get better. So even though it was a super rigorous interview process, it was just like it was all out there. I knew exactly what I'd be getting into in the event that it happened. So like even though it was like probably by design to turn up the heat and grill me a little bit, at the same time it was so transparent about what I was getting into. It was like by Monday morning, Kier calls me at 7 o'clock. They're like, yeah, I want the job. I went in there thinking I was just going to be leveraging, but like the salesmanship both ways, apparently I did well enough to get the offer, and I enjoyed them enough that I was like, yes, this is what I got to do professionally. Otherwise.
Congratulations on making it to the end of the video. Why don't you celebrate by watching more videos just like it? You can also help us on our quest to placate the algorithm gods by liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. Thank you.